guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So we are here for another one of our mass making sessions. We are up to week number 195, would you believe? So week number 195, for those people who don't watch my channel, we are doing reruns. So we are rerunning week number 95, so week number 195. Now, if you watched last week, you'll know that I have a confession to make in that in the original, run of mass makings, I couldn't seem to find a week number 95. And I did, ask perhaps whether, any suggestions for what we could make for week number 195. So thank you so much to all those people who did make suggestions. So one of the suggestions that I had was, could we do something with tickets? So I have kind of combined tickets and labels or anything else that you might be able to make, use to make what we're going to make. So I've got these little tickets. Now these are little paper tickets. These are available on my website, my shabbydabbydoodah.co.uk website. So I've got those tickets. I've got label stamps. So again, these label stamps, they're also available on my website. So shabbydabbydoodah.co.uk website. And then I've got a bunch of different printables. So these are obviously all in my Etsy shop. So I've got these, which are from my shoe toppers. And they have been printed 2 to a page, so they're kind of smaller than the the full size ones. So I've got those. I've got my labels. Now these I think are my labels set 2 printables. So yep, I've got a couple of those, and these are the 2 to a page, which I think you do get them actually like these, so you don't have to actually specify 2 to a page. That's how you get them. 1 to a page, 2 to a page, or 4 to a page, I think. So I've got those. I've also got some of my tickets, which again are in my Etsy shop. And I've also got my numbers. These are from my number set 3. Now, all of these printables have been printed on 230 GSM. So you can hear they are kind of considerably thicker than copy paper. These tickets, however, these are paper tickets, so you're going to get a feel for, you can use both or either, or whatever you have. So they're kind of ideas for what we're going to use as our top pieces. Now I then have brought along a bunch of scraps. So I've got scrap pieces of printables, I've got scrap pieces of book page, I've got some sheet music, all sorts of different scraps here which we may mix in with our tickets. And then we've got here some of the brown packaging paper from Amazon. Now, I absolutely love the brown packaging paper from Amazon. And, I've used it kind of on other projects before and things like that. So, absolutely love it. But, if you haven't got the brown Amazon packaging paper, you could use brown paper bag. You could use, if you've got brown envelopes, you could tear portions from those. Anything kind of, that you fancy using. Now, the reason why this is nice, or why I've suggested like brown paper bags or brown envelopes, is because this is nice and thin and sort of crinkly. So you can probably hear it's got a really good sort of texture going on. If you don't have anything like this, of course, improvise and use, something completely different. But I just thought this would be a nice base and quite a nice way to use some of this up. Now we are making the scrap label clusters. Sorry, I didn't go on to say. So yes, I took the ticket idea and I've adapted it. So we are incorporating it with an idea that I saw on Camellia Craft Designs channel. So I will try and remember to link this. I am useless at remembering, frankly, anything. So if I don't remember, please do nudge me and I can link her video, afterwards. Her video, it is called Scrap Label Clusters with a Twist. Okay, that's the name of her video. So if I forget to link it and you don't want to have to wait for me to link it, that's what you need to search for. Scrap Label Clusters with a Twist from Camellia Craft Designs. And yeah, she did some very lovely label clusters. So we are going to be layering up. We're going to be using this as our base layer, layering up with any of these little scraps, and then topping with any of the things that we talked about previously. So if you are crafting along, what will you need? You will need some glue. Now I am using my Anita's tacky glue. This is a PVA based type glue. Obviously use the glue that you like the best. You could incorporate things like lace, fabric, you know, anything that you fancy using. But we're going to make quite basic ones like she had made. And then she had a twist on them where she used eyelets in the sides, basically. So I am very, very lucky because I was gifted a whole bunch of beautiful, beautiful wide eyelets. So I was gifted some by the lovely Marianne. So thank you so much, Marianne. I have used quite a few of these, but yes, I have been hoarding quite a few. And then I have been gifted some more by the lovely Michelle, who runs our Facebook group. So thank you so much, Michelle. So some colours are kind of fuller than others, obviously, where I've received, you know, more kind of extra colours. So I'm going to be using those. So if you are wanting to put eyelets in your clusters, you do not have to have these big wide eyelets. You can use, you know, the tiny normal size eyelets. You will, of course, need either a crocodile or like a, you know, I think we used to get them called a silent setter, you know, some sort of eyelet setter mechanism. Now, if you don't have eyelets and you don't have the setter, you could obviously use alternatives. So you could use buttons, you could use brads, you could use pearly things, you know, anything kind of small and round, basically, you could kind of put on as an alternative if you don't have eyelets. But we're going to be using eyelets, I think. Aside from that, I'm going to possibly use a glue spreader. So I've just bought a glue spreader along. And then, of course, I've got my blendy tool with some ink for just in case we want to blend, you know, ink some bits and pieces. You're going to need your scissors. If you don't like using scissors, you know, you may want to use your paper trimmer or anything. Completely up to you. And, you know, remember, this is your take on this, so they don't have to be identical to mine. You don't have to use the same methods that I'm using. So let's get started with these. So we're going to just see how many we can make. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, take my base layer, which, like I said, that's going to be the Amazon packaging paper. Now I'm going to, I think, try tearing this. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to tear off a bunch of, you know, rectangular pieces. So I'm just going to score it with my nails and try and tear it down. Oops, because I quite like the torn edges. Now, obviously, I have made a mess of that, but that doesn't bother me. I mean, I personally think that looks better than perhaps when they're cut. But obviously, you know, this is your project and use, you know, the methods that you like best. So I'm just going to tear off a couple of strips of this first. So it's just, oops, it's not very easy to tear, I have to say, because it's very flimsy paper. So let's just move that out the way. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, oops, layer up. Oh gosh, I've got things all over my desk. Sorry about this. Layer up a couple of different things. So I've got here some paper scraps. So I'm just going to take some of that. So this is just from my, oh gosh, what is this from? Butterfly Musings papers, I think. So I'm just going to tear this down and put it onto the Amazon packaging. Now I might want to take that slightly smaller. And again, obviously this has got straight edges, which personally, you know, if I'm going for torn, I don't want to then have suddenly a straight edge on there on both sides. I don't mind, weirdly, having a straight edge on one side. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to put it down like that. So I'm just going to glue this down. Oops, my glue now is like really, really, really oozing out. So, yep, yet again, I burnt the top of my glue bottle with my hot glue gun. So yeah, it's slightly stumpy, which just makes it, you know, slightly with the tendency to be very oozy. The amount of times that I do that, and I never ever seem to actually learn and stop doing that. So one day maybe I will finally get to grips and not do that. So that's that. And then what we're going to do, we're going to layer it up with another little piece. So I've got, like I say, book page, or I've got, you know, these are the craft papers, which are again available on my website. And I've also got sheet music. So I can use, you know, a variety and kind of like intermix them. But that looks really nice on there, doesn't it? So I'm just going to layer that up. Like that, okay. Now, just going to try not to overthink these too much. So get some eclectic kind of looks going on. And then for my topper pieces, I can then intersperse and mix and mingle different things. So I've got here these obviously tickets that are available in my shop. So this one, I'm just going to tear this down slightly. And yeah, I think we're going to have that on there. Now I'm just going to see what it would look like if I tore this edge off. Yeah, I think that's probably, oh, I don't know actually. Honestly, and this is where suddenly I can go into just complete overthinking mode. And, you know, as if this really warrants overthinking. I mean, it's crazy, crazy, you know, overthinking how to put your ticket on. But if we just then ink that up a bit, like that, okay. So this is a great scrap buster. It's really good for using up all of your scraps of paper and things, you know, and making a real good bunch of, you know, make ahead embellishments. So yeah, I loved this idea when I saw it, and I just thought, oh, these are very, very nifty. So that's my ticket piece, and then I'm just going to then tear this down here. Now at this point I might want to just round those corners slightly like that. There we go. That to me looks like it's a little bit on the wide side, so I'm just going to trim it down here, which of course now I've got a cut edge. So what I'm going to do is just rough that up with my scissors to get rid of the, you know, the smooth edge, so as it looks slightly more, you know, in keeping with the rest. There we go. And then all I'm going to do is then set my little eyelets at the side. So let's have a look and see. So I've got these gorgeous, well, I'm not sure what colour I would call these, to be honest. Maybe a dark grey colour. Is that the same colour or different? Honestly, you can't really see sometimes. I've got the light on because it's actually quite a dark day. And then trying to see, you know, which are the right colours is quite tricky. I think they're the same colour. So all I'm going to do is set my eyelets into the side. So we then pop a couple down here. So, and I'm going to just move my little marker on my crocodile, which then enables me to get them in line, hopefully, with one another down the side like that. Okay. I bet I've put them too close now. I forgot that I was using the big eyelets, and yeah, probably set them way too close. Let's hope for the best. So pinch that in. Oops. Oh no, might have used the wrong setter. Yeah, I might have used the wrong setting there. Not very good with my crocodile, and it's been a while since I've set any eyelets, I've got to be honest. So yeah, that's better. Right. Oops. That's it. Pop that one in there. Come on. Okay. So they're then pinched in. Aren't they just so gorgeous? Absolutely just love these. I don't know what's going on with that eyelet. I think I need to squish it in a little bit more. Okay, let's just squish that. Right, there we go. I hadn't pinched it quite in enough. There you go. Aren't they just so, so cute? And then obviously, you know, you could just put them on the side of a page. You could put them onto a pocket. You could put them onto a tag. But they're just so cute, aren't they? You could also thread like some ribbon through there or some baker's twine or something, you know, absolutely how you like. You don't have to have 2 eyelets. You could just have 1. You could have 3, you know, mix these up as much as you like. But I just think they're very, very cute, aren't they? So I'll just make one more talking you through, and then we'll kind of mass make these. Obviously they're not rocket science, you know, they're very, very straightforward piece, and yeah, probably don't really need a great deal of talking through. But, you know, just kind of being consistent really with the format that we normally follow, I will just make a second one just to kind of, you know, show you guys really. So right, let's take this down. Okie dokie. So just glue this on. Now mine look pretty ginormous, I have to say, compared to the ones that I saw on the Camellia Craft Designs, you know, video. So yeah, I've got to be honest and say hers, I think, were kind of narrower than these. So we might make some narrower ones when we're going through, you know, we'll just kind of mix them up and, you know, chop and change kind of how we do them. So for this one, I'm just going to grab in some book page, just so we've got some different looks. So, like that. Okay, oops. Probably want to just bring that down slightly more. Okay, and I'm just going to ink this up a little bit. Like that, okay. Just glue this one down. There we go. Like that, and then we just spread the glue. And then for this one, let's use, you know, a different ticket. So this was using the paper tickets. So let's use a label. So just grabbing my labels here. Should we use this one? Just because, you know, this is a green label, so I feel it's going to be ideal colour. Okie dokie. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, now I'm looking kind of with these labels in particular, you know, I've made my base way too big, so I don't need to make them half as big as this, but it's hard to gauge when you do your first couple. So, you know, and to be honest, it's nice to have things in your stash where you've got a variety of sizes, because then, you know, you can mix them in per project. So let's just put that one on there. I quite like it actually with quite a big base, to be honest. I thought maybe it might look really weird, but yeah, quite like it. I'm going to just cover up that weird title-y type part in there. And we'll just tear this down on this edge. Again, just round those corners slightly. Like that, okay. Okie dokie. So that looks really nice, doesn't it? So for this one, you know, just so as we've got some different looks going on, perhaps we'll just put one eyelet in just the corner. So we'll just put it in here. Oops. See, I'm just going to take that corner down slightly. There we go. Like that. Okay, and then let's get another of the wide eyelets. Just pop that one through there. I mean, to be honest, you know, you could use these as even tags. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Now I've got a phone call coming through. Hold on a second. Oh, sorry about that. Right, okay, so I just quickly clamped that shut whilst I was on my phone conversation. So, yeah, that's the one with just the one eyelet, and obviously that's the one with the two. So, very, very cute, aren't they? So, I mean, obviously they're very simple. I don't probably need to talk you through at all. So, we'll just get mass making some of these. So, when I say mass making, for anyone who doesn't kind of watch regularly, I'm talking sort of assembly line style. So, doing all of the same steps at the same time, if you see what I mean. So we'll, you know, tear all of our little base pieces from the brown packaging paper, then we'll layer it with all the top pieces, and then, you know, the next top pieces, and then the labels, you know, and then we'll do the eyelets kind of as the last stage. So I'm just going to put those to one side, and I'm just going to pull in my packaging paper, and we can just relax now, have a really super nice time having a catch up, and yeah, just enjoy ourselves doing some mass making and getting some lovely pieces ready made for our junk journals. So I hope everybody's week has started out well. If you watch my channel, you'll know that I film these videos always on a Monday, ready to go up for you guys on the Tuesday. So my week has literally only just started. We still have like grey, awful weather here. Yeah, just, I don't know what's going on with the weather this summer. Honestly, we literally have had kind of no summer really. And I feel terrible because I've had several comments from lovely people who, you know, are really struggling with completely the opposite end of the spectrum, you know, where the weather has been absolutely unbearably hot. And, you know, of course, I've watched the news with, you know, lots of fires and things like that going on in a lot of places where the weather has been, you know, uncontrollably hot. So yeah, my sympathies with anybody who's in a, you know, particularly hot climate. You know, it's, sorry, my daughter's just in here now trying to borrow the glue. Bring it back though, because I'm using it, sweetie. So yeah, I do sympathise if you are in any really hot temperatures, you know, and I'm not meaning to kind of rub your nose in it when I'm saying about how awful our weather is. But, you know, it just seems one extreme to the other. I don't know what's going on with this piece. Obviously, as you can see, I've made a terrible job of tearing that. But hopefully that's not going to matter at all. So I'm just going to go this way on here now. So thank you, sweetie. So my daughter is on summer holidays. So she's at home, you know, for 6 weeks. I've lost track now completely, but she must have been home for, I think, it might even be 3 weeks already. I don't know. My whole timekeeping is just a blur these days. So, yeah, I've lost track completely, but she's been home for a little while already anyway. So, but yeah, she's just doing some crafting herself. So, I mean, her crafting does not seem to consist of the same types of things that we do. She is much more messy than we are. Well, much more messy than I am. I mean, I'm messy when I don't mean to be. She's messy intentionally, and the messier the better as far as she's concerned. So, yeah, she's very, very, very messy. But, yeah, so she's probably, you know, she's probably in her room doing things with glitter and all of that type of stuff, to be honest. And, you know, anything sparkly where she can then cut off loads of little teeny little tiny bits that are then going to be dropped all around the carpet. Oh, she loves it. So that's probably what's going on in her room at the moment. Right, okay, so I've got some very strange irregular shaped pieces here. So all I'm going to do, I think, is yeah, I'm going to now tear down some of my next layer pieces, and then I'm going to do that before, you know, tearing these bits down, because this will gauge, you know, where I need to tear my other bits down. So yeah, let's get rid of that. Okay, let's bring in some more paper. Okie dokie. So this is from my lace collection papers here. So we'll use some of this. There we go. So what have we been up to this week? Now, I talked last week about going to see the film called The Meg 2. This is the film with the Megalodon, the shark, with Jason Statham. And I talked about how much I loved the first one. And, you know, I realised they're not everybody's cup of tea. And, you know, yeah, they're probably like a sort of, what's the word? You know, an acquired taste. But anyway, I really loved the Meg, the first one. Oh my goodness, that second one. No offence to anybody who loved that film. Or, you know, if you've seen it and you loved the second one. I mean, my sister, Natalie, she loved the second one. She thought it was very exciting. She did say no storyline, but, you know, very, very gripping. Oh my goodness, what an awful film. I haven't actually spoken to her about it since I went to see it. I've spoken to her, but not about the film. So, yeah, when I see her, I'm going to have to mention it, because I'd totally forgotten, actually. So when I have seen her, you know, since we watched it, I've forgotten to actually mention the film. Now, the irony is, my daughter, who absolutely hates going to the cinema, don't you, sweetie? She's pulling her face at me. She's probably worried I'm suggesting we go again. But, yeah, she does not like going to the cinema ever. She doesn't really like films. She loved it. I'm just saying about the Meg. She said to me, "Oh, Mum, best day ever. Such a good film." No, it just wasn't a good film. So, yeah, just hilarious. This is from the Rose Park papers, by the way. So, yeah. Okay. Oh, darling, can you be careful, sweetheart? You've dropped that on the dog, darling. Luckily, it was only light stuff. But, yeah, you must be careful, sweetie. Right, okay, I don't know what's happened to one of those, but anyway, she's dropped it, and now I've lost one of the pieces that we just made. Yeah, so she really liked it. You know, yeah, I thought, what a load of rubbish, but So this is from my free papers that are up on my website. They were as my thank you to everybody for, you know, your kind support a few weeks back. So if you haven't grabbed a set of these, please go up there. Obviously, you know, it was a few weeks back that I put them on, but, you know, they're on there now, you know, for the duration. So please do go on and get some. These are from my shoes collection of toppers and background papers. But I love like the Harlequin kind of pattern, so that might be quite nice and quite fun. Yeah, anyway, so I thought it was pretty awful, but she thought it was great. So, yep, we went to see that. Definitely not really one that I would recommend to anybody, but hey, you know, you might really like it. I mean, I do like Jason Statham, you know, not saying he's a brilliant actor or anything else, but, you know, he's quite nice to watch, isn't he? Let's face it. But yeah, even he was not convincing me that that was a good film. It was like, oh my goodness. Even with your presence in the film, it's still not good. So yeah, not great. What else have we done? Well, just worked really, if I'm truthful. It's been just, yeah, super busy. So I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who placed an order on my restock video, which went up on Sunday. So really, really appreciate your support. Thank you. And yep, Natalie will be obviously posting your orders out within the next week. So well, she's coming around to work tonight, actually. We're obviously juggling things around because it's school holidays. And she does another part-time job as well. So, you know, she has to kind of obviously work around her other, you know, job hours. And then obviously, you know, we need to work around, you know, the children and things like that. So, yeah, she's coming around tonight. So she will probably pack up quite a lot of those orders tonight, but I'm not sure she will quite manage to pack up, you know, everything. It just kind of will depend how we get on time-wise. Because to be honest, the actual packing of orders takes quite a long time. So yeah, we'll just have to kind of wait and see. But yes, I want to say thank you so much for anybody who, or to anybody who placed an order. So really, really appreciate your support, and I really hope that you love your orders when they arrive. So yeah, thank you. So what else have we done? What else? Cooked a roast dinner yesterday. So my friend was here as well, so yeah, we had a roast dinner. So it was just my daughter and my friend and I. Yeah, my son is on holiday at the moment in Venice. So this is my middle son. He's in Venice on holiday. I think I did talk about this last week, but he's 17. So this is kind of his first holiday, you know, alone. His first holiday, you know, just him without his, you know, his family. So he is having such a lovely time. He's FaceTimed me hundreds of times, and you know, I don't know, messengered me and things like that hundreds of times. So he is having the best time ever. And yeah, he just went for I think it was 3 nights. So he's coming back today, but he's not going to get back until very late. I took him to the airport when he went, and he is getting a lift back from his dad, you know, coming home, because actually he doesn't get back until, I think it's, I don't know, something like 11 o'clock at night or something. And to be honest, I would be literally asleep at the wheel. So yeah, he's getting a lift back. So I can't wait to see him, honestly. He's had like the best time, and their pictures have looked amazing. And oh, I was lucky enough to go to Venice myself a few years ago, and I mean, I talked about this last week. Loved it so much. It was probably one of the only places that I've been to that completely lived up to how I you know, hoped it would be / you know, expected it to be. You know, kind of like a lot of places, you get there. Sorry, I've not been saying what papers these were. So these were my Regency papers, and this is from the pinks, the purples, sorry, and the rich coloured lace papers. So yes, I do apologise. I was busy rambling and totally forgot to say what papers I was using. Yeah, it was probably one of the only places that I've been to that really lives up to how I expected it to be. And I do apologise if I'm repeating myself from last week, but I can't remember whether we talked about it that much. But it's really strange because I think a lot of places, you know, you kind of expect them to be one way. And when you get there, you know, it can often be so disappointing. And Venice totally lived up to how I'd expected it, how I'd wished it, how I'd hoped it would be. You know, it completely looked how I imagined it would look. It was, oh, you know, beautiful. It just, oh, everything about it, it looked exactly the same as I'd, you know, as I'd hoped slash, you know, expected it to be. And, yeah, so, oh, just would love to go back there, I have to say, because it was just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So, and if you've watched that film, The Tourist, if you haven't been to Venice, if you've watched that film, The Tourist, you know, with Angelina Jolie and Johnny Depp, I mean, that, you know, is filmed there. And honestly, you know, it's exactly as it looks in that film. You know, they haven't kind of like chopped bits out or anything like that and made it look different. It looks exactly like that. So, yeah, if you like the look of it in that film, you're going to love it in the flesh. So yeah, really beautiful. So it would be amazing, you know, to go back there one day. So right, let's ink up a few of these things. So I'm just going to tear out my paper actually, and I think what I'll have to do is do these probably like a couple of lines at a time, otherwise I'm going to run out of room. So I'll just put kind of my next strip down, and then I can line my paper up and do like all of the inking and all of that together. Otherwise I will end up running out of room, I'm pretty sure. So, right, let's just tear this down a bit. There we go. I just can't believe how fast the time is going. It's just going incredibly quickly. So, yeah, it's all whizzing by. Absolutely whizzing by. So my son will then have a few days left of his holiday when he comes back. Yeah, he's got till the, you know, the rest of this week off. So yeah, hopefully he'll have a nice time. I'm not sure really what else he's got planned really that he'd like to be doing, but hopefully you know, got some nice things that he'd like to do. He's not really mentioned, you know, other plans, but yeah, I'm sure he's got some other nice things that he's got planned. So right, okay, so let's pop these bits down. Oops. Yeah, it's such a shame. I mean, we've had no beach days whatsoever. You know, since my daughter's broken up from school, we've not been down the beach, not one time or anything. You know, I mean, it's worked out well for me because I've actually been really busy this year anyway. And, you know, so I probably would have struggled to do that. But yeah, so it's worked out brilliantly because I haven't had to feel guilty that we're not doing things like that. But it's been so miserable, you know, I'm not sure really what is going on, you know, and there seems to be no, not end in sight, but, you know, no light in sight for when the weather might actually improve. So, you know, it's yeah, been a bit of a shame really, because, you know, it would have been nice for the children to have nice weather. I mean, literally, it's not even been nice enough to even go like to the park or anything really. I mean, it's actually been quite cold. Okay. Gosh, I'm so sorry. My daughter's loitering here, waiting for the glue again. And it's so distracting because her, you know, she's literally holding her arm out. Stop it, sweetie. I'm using the glue. Okay. I mean, I really like the addition of the eyelets on these, don't you think? They're just really cool, aren't they? They do add a bit of extra interest, I think. So yeah, let me know what you think. Like I say, completely not my idea. Saw it on Camellia Craft Designs, but yeah, just thought very nice take on sort of label clusters really. So And it's always really fun, isn't it, if you can find other things, you know, other additions, other kind of changes and things. Right, quickly use that, sweetheart, while I'm inking. Okay. So I was just saying about your brother in Venice and how much of a nice time he's having, isn't he? He's like messaged us lots, hasn't he? And yeah, looks like he's having a really nice time. Do you remember Venice, darling?
Yeah, he's not messaged me.
He's not messaged you, but he's messaged me a lot, hasn't he?
I don't know.
She's in a world of her own half the time, honestly. So, yeah. Yeah, do you remember Venice or not really?
Not really.
You don't? Hmm. I can't remember actually how long ago it was we went there, but I mean, obviously it was pre-lockdown. It might have been the year before lockdown. So was lockdown 2021 or 2020? Honestly, everything's a blur really. Since lockdown, it feels just so weird. I think the time just suddenly like whizzed by during that lockdown, and then it's hard to actually remember, you know, where we are. I think lockdown might have been 2020 actually. Yeah, I think 2020, and then yeah, so we must have gone 2019, maybe 2018, or maybe even 2017. Anyway, a long time ago now. So yeah, many moons ago. Oops, a wax pellet hanging around on my desk. So the dog, she is asleep in her new place that's beside my chair. And I talked about this recently. I can't remember whether I've actually put that video up. I can't remember whether it might have been in my haul video where I said she's taken to literally, you know, she wasn't obviously loving it. She didn't feel close enough being over the other side the desk. You know, I couldn't see her. She obviously couldn't really see me. She could hear me, obviously. But because the room's not big enough for the desk to be far away, if you see what I mean. So she was kind of, you know, over the other side. And yeah, she obviously, you know, didn't feel comfortable being, you know, so far away. So she's moved herself. Well, she moved herself, and then I obviously thought, oh, I'd best move her desk because she wants to be closer. So yeah, she kind of moved herself by just laying under my chair, and then I obviously took pity on her and moved her myself. So yeah, her desk is now here, right beside me. So squished on the floor. So yeah, that's where she now resides whilst I'm filming. She does make me laugh. Okay, just got a bit more room that way round. So I'm just going to ink up a couple of these actually before gluing these down. Don't you love Harlequin pattern? I really do love Harlequin patterns. They're just really lovely, aren't they? Very kind of nostalgic, and well, I mean, I always think they're very Shakespearean. Don't know, was there, I don't know whether it was like court jesters or something, were they like in Harlequin type stuff? I don't know why it makes me think of you know, Shakespearean type things. Maybe it's the florin. Was the florin kind of a Harlequin type pattern in Shakespearean like plays and things, whenever you see them in pictures, you know? I don't know, but yeah, always just makes me think Shakespeare for some reason. Right, now just need to work out what I want to go on the Harlequin pattern, because I don't want to have it completely covered. So maybe something like that. Okay, maybe just tear this down a bit. Okie dokie. Okay. Right, okay, looking good. So we just glue these ones down. Oops. And then we'll cut out our labels, I think. So I've had to do it this way round rather than layer them all up because I was going to run out of room. So if you're thinking, oh, she's doing this all a bit of a strange order today, it's just because I was going to end up running out of room. So, you know, I've had to do them kind of like in stages. So although we're doing you know, sort of all the stages together, i.e., you know, assembly line-ish, assembly line style. We are also staggering it, you know, so we're doing assembly line style in this part, and then we're doing the like assembly line style in the next part, i.e. cutting the labels or, you know, the topper type pieces, and then we'll be inking those if they need it, gluing those down, and then putting the eyelets on. So yeah, it is still kind of the same, you know, we are still doing it assembly line style, but we've got 2 stages to the assembly line. So yeah, we've got like factory floor number 1, that's this part, and then factory floor number 2 for the other part. So there we go. Just, you know, so it's manageable kind of fitting it on wise. So let's put those out the way. Okay, and we'll just then glue these ones down. Okie dokie. Now I'm actually thinking I would have been better off with a slightly narrower piece, so I think I'm going to switch it out for this. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oops. Where are you off to, sweetie? Oh, the dog's off now. She's had enough of listening to me. Sweetie, can you just put the dog out, please, darling? Sorry, I just had to call my daughter and just ask her to put the dog out, because I just thought, oh, she might have got up because she needs the toilet. So I did let her out before the, you know, before starting the video, but just in case she... Oh, she's come back in now. Sorry, darling. It's up to you whether you want to kind of like carry her down or take her down and put her out, or whether maybe she's all right now.
She's okay.
I think perhaps she was just sick of listening to me. What do you reckon? Oh, we went to the car boot sale yesterday, didn't we, darling? Do you remember? And yeah, first time we'd been, like, I feel like the whole year, but that can't be right. So yeah, just anyway, first time we've been for a long time. Oh, it was not good. Disappointing. Yeah, very disappointing. So yeah, no bargains to be had yesterday. Not just bargains, there was nothing to be had, bargain or otherwise. So that was really, really disappointing. Because, you know, I hadn't been for so long that I thought, oh, well, hopefully, you know, there might just be a lot of good stuff. No, nothing. So that was really, yeah, not good. But yeah. I mean, actually, I guess part of the reason why we haven't been is because, you know, the weather's not been that great. So yeah, that's probably been a bit preventative, I suppose, from us going, you know, as much as we might have liked. Right, okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bring these back in like this and then see what topper type pieces that we want. So let's have a look and see what we've got. So we've obviously got these, you know, paper type tickets, which I think are quite nice. Oh, I quite like that green one on there. So I'm just going to cut this end off. And the only reason I'm cutting the end off is just because otherwise it's a little bit big for that piece. So yeah, just cutting the end off makes it, you know, just a bit of a better fit. Now I might use one of the shoe toppers on here. So yeah, let's just take these down. Honestly, I've used these shoe toppers really loads since I, you know, put them in my shop. They're just one of those things that they look really good everywhere. So let's on this one do a ticket, and I'm thinking, oh, what am I thinking? Maybe this ticket, or yeah, maybe this one. In fact, I'll cut both of those out, and then we'll have, you know, a couple of choices. So yeah, let's just okay. Honestly, there's nothing better than having just a bunch of ready-made pieces, you know, for your journals. And these are really nice because they are completely you know, completely finished pieces, aren't they? So normally in the mass making, I just tend to mass make the shells, you know, or the base piece, and then just decorate one. I mean, purely really because there's not enough time to do that with more than one. But yeah, these are quite nice and quite fun because, of course, we've actually achieved the complete thing. You know, we've made the whole shebang, as they would say. So that might be a bit drab on there. We'll just kind of just have a look in a minute. So I'll just cut this topper out. Okay. There we go. Oh, and I just want to say thank you to everyone who's, you know, continuing to leave comments and things like that on my videos. It helps so much. And, you know, even just like a thumbs up for the video, all of those things really do help. So, you know, really, really, really appreciate it. And yeah, very, very grateful. So thank you very much to everybody who's, you know, continuing to do that. And, you know, I know we've talked about this before, but, you know, YouTube's algorithm, it classes, you know, how much a video would be promoted is like how much engagement the video gets. So, you know, by just giving it a thumbs up and things, that's classed as engagement with the video. So, you know, it really is a, yeah, quite a, you know, an important kind of step really from YouTube's algorithm point of view. So I'm wondering whether I might have the ticket and the number, just because I think maybe the number's a little bit small on its own. Or perhaps we'll have it that way around, like that. Okay. Right, okay, so this one, what label do we want for this one? Maybe this? Have a look. Or maybe another shoe piece. Just have a look. Yeah, and thank you to everybody who's, you know, continued to leave us super thanks and, you know, signed up to my Buy Me a Coffee membership and all of those things. So, you know, I mean, I know, you know, we've talked about this before, and I always find it very uncomfortable talking about things like this because, you know, I mean, obviously in an ideal world, it would be wonderful to be able to just, you know, do the videos completely free and not have to, you know, promote things at all. But I mean, of course, you know, for a lot of us, this is our main source of income. And so, you know, of course, those things really, really, really do help. So, yeah, thank you so, so, so much. You know, I can't tell you how much I do appreciate it. And like I say, I mean, it really kind of, you know, it makes the difference between, just thinking, swap those around, between being able to, you know, to do this for a job or not really. So, yeah, thank you very much. You know, it's literally life-changing, and you know, yeah, thank you very, very much for all of your support. So I've got my obviously Ko-fi page and things like that, and I know that lots of you have signed up now to the membership, and you know, that's amazing. Thank you. There we go. I know that lots of people out there do Patreon. You know, I mean, personally, I have shied away from Patreon because, you know, it's nice to be able to offer these videos for free, I think. You know, and sometimes people go over to Patreon and then their presence becomes sort of absent from YouTube. And, you know, that's really a shame, I think. And to be honest, to do both, you know, I definitely would struggle to do both. I know that I think Gail Agostinelli, unbelievably, I think does both. And she posts a video every single day on YouTube. So I don't know how frequent her uploads are on Patreon, but wow, I mean, she's like Superwoman, isn't she, to be able to do that. Yeah, I don't know how she fits it in, to be honest. So yeah, all hats off to Gail Agostinelli, because she is like amazing. I don't know who else does Patreon who uploads, you know, so often as that. I know that, oh gosh, what's her name? She used to be I'm a Cool Mum. And she's now, oh gosh, what is she now? And I love her videos. Her name's Jessica, and it's just escaped me now what her new channel name is. She was I'm a Cool Mum. She's now something more booky, you know, more kind of journal related. I can't remember now. I'm so sorry. If she stumbles across this video, I really apologise, Jessica. I do love your videos, and yeah, I've watched you for a really long time. So yeah, I'm so sorry. It's just literally gone from my mind just for a moment. Anyway, I know she does Patreon, but obviously she doesn't upload every day or anything like that. Can't think who else does Patreon actually, but yeah, I know that lots of people do. And I know that lots of you had suggested it, you know, a couple of weeks ago that maybe I could do that. I mean, for me, I just think it would probably mean then, you know, doing less on YouTube, and I don't know really. Yeah, maybe I need to kind of like have a think which is better, but I think I would feel sad, and you know, it would feel like I was then letting people down who, you know, have supported me for all this time on YouTube. So yeah, for me, I would really love to just, you know, I would love to be able to just do the YouTube, really. But yeah, we'll kind of have to see how it goes. But hey, you know, we'll see. I mean, TikTok, I know is, you know, super popular. Natalie has set me up a TikTok, and she's done a couple of videos on there where she's taken some of my videos and sort of edited them down, because obviously TikTok videos are not long videos like we get here on YouTube. And I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let me know below. What's your take on TikTok? You know, I mean, I know that it is, you know, a growing thing and very popular. I mean, I feel like it's not quite in line with how we do things here in our community. I'm not saying there aren't things that aren't brilliant on TikTok, but you know, I think we like to watch the whole stage of the craft process, and I don't think you can really do that on TikTok because the videos are short. So, you know, to do like a 10-minute video on TikTok, I mean, you've still got to do the whole, you know, 50-minute process of making the item. It's not like it suddenly takes you 10 minutes to make. You know, you still have physically had to make the item. But the difference is you've just chopped out a lot of the process on the film. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just really old now, but it feels to me like it's not quite so not helpful. I mean, that's perhaps not the right word, but you know, I think we quite like the style as junk journalists. I think we quite like the style of seeing the whole process. But maybe, you know, maybe the younger generation prefer obviously the, you know, the cut down version without all the waffle. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you know, you can't do all these things. You know, you can't be everywhere. And I think that's the thing. You have to kind of like focus on your area where, you know, where you feel comfortable, where you know, feel that you can not make a difference, but, you know, bring something to the table. And I'm not sure that my style really would be that brilliant as a sort of TikToker, because I think actually I'd just have to just cut out half the process, and then, you know, it perhaps wouldn't be very enjoyable from my point of view to film it. Maybe it wouldn't be so useful from people watching it. I don't know. Let me know what you think. So, right, I've torn these down. Now, obviously I have got the other ones here, which I've not done. I'm not sure now that I've got time to do them, because we are now, you know, the time's ticking by. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do the eyelets in these, and we'll see kind of how much time we've got left. So let's just pop my eyelets in the side here. So one here. Oops. Now my paper's very soggy, and that's probably not that helpful for this. It's got to be said. Oh gosh, they're really not in line at all, those two. Never mind. Right, so this one, I might just have one eyelet maybe here in the corner. Like I say, these papers are very soggy where I've only just glued them all. So, you know, they're not the best. They would be better drier, but hopefully they'll be okay. Now this one, obviously, because this one's a, you know, portrait rather than landscape, where do we want the eyelets? We could have them in this side, or we could have them at the top. Oh, I don't know now. Let's do them at the top and see what we think. So let's have one here, and then one here. Oops. Just move that back a bit. There we go. Right, now this one, obviously this one's quite big, so, oh, should we have the eyelets here to the side again? Yeah. 1, 2. There we go. And then this one, oh, where should we have them here? Or shall we just have the one eyelet on this one? Or perhaps we'll have 2 at the bottom actually on this one. We haven't really done any at the bottom, have we? So let's have 1 and then 2. And like I say, I mean, you could have, you know, you could have more than 2 eyelets. You could have, you know, 3. You could have not even eyelets. You could use buttons or something instead. I've chosen to use eyelets because, you know, that's what, you know, was in the original video that I've been obviously following. But yeah, you don't have to use eyelets. You could use something completely different if you don't have eyelets, or if you know, you don't want to use eyelets. So there we go. That's that one. And then just check. Oh, see, are they different colours? I mean, is that my eyesight, or are they different colours? I feel like they are different colours. I'm sure they are, aren't they? Because yeah, they do look definitely different, don't they? Here we go. This one, hopefully. No, that's the light one as well. What's going on? That's the dark one, isn't it? Yeah. Honestly, for a minute, I just thought, is that my imagination, or are they different? Yeah, they are, in fact, different colours. Right. Oh my goodness. Come back, come back. I think it's actually going to rain in a minute, to be honest. It's really got very dark and black out there, and just, oh, this is now hooked up, sorry. Yeah, just looking like rain. So I don't, oh gosh, this is what happens sometimes with me with eyelets. So yeah, not my best thing to use. I'm not really very good at using them, and I have watched Gail Agostinelli, which again, funny how she's cropped up now twice in the space of 5 minutes. But yeah, I've watched her say she struggles with setting her eyelets with her crocodile as well. So I feel like I'm allowed to say all these things because I'm in good company, because Gail Agostinelli also struggles with her crocodile. So hey, if she struggles, then that's, you know, no hope for me, is there? Right, okay, so maybe that one up there. Oh my goodness, I love how that one looks in the corner. Oops, come on. Just pop that on there. Yeah, I mean, these are a really fun take on the, oops, on the clusters that we would perhaps, you know, ordinarily do. And if you're thinking, oh, you know, these aren't so practical because, you know, they're not stored all nicely in like the cluster book that we've done recently. What you could do, and I have seen someone doing their cluster book or using their cluster book in this way, what you could do is make a cluster book. So again, you know, if you haven't checked out my cluster book video and you don't know what I'm talking about, if you search on YouTube for Shabbydabbydoodah cluster book, what you could do is make a cluster book base, and then you could just pop literally a little tiny dab of glue on there and glue these down onto the page. So they're all then stored in your cluster book, and you just peel them off as you went to use them. So that's a little kind of alternative, or, you know, suggestion for how you would, you know, use these in a cluster book. So, you know, I wouldn't recommend making them in the cluster book because, of course, you know, you may struggle to set your eyelets and things in there because obviously, you know, you're not going to be able to get to necessarily everywhere in the book. But what you could do is definitely just glue them down kind of in the centre using a very small dab of glue. So I think, you know, there's definitely kind of a way round using them, or storing them, perhaps I should say, storing them in your books. So that one. Okay, right. I'm thinking maybe a gold. Actually, I'm thinking maybe a gold eyelet for all of these. So, oh, this is where I find I haven't got enough gold eyelets. Okay. Have got brown. Could use brown ones. Let's try the gold here. Oh, I have got more gold ones actually. I do think the gold look really nice, don't they? So yeah, I quite like the gold ones, I think. So definitely I think the gold ones for this one. So let's put the gold ones in here. Oops. Come on. Like that. Oh gosh. Oh, come on. Like that. And then the other one. Oh, come on, come on, come on. There we go. Come on, squeeze that. Oh, that one's not closed quite properly. Honestly, this is just a nightmare. I feel like my crocodile's gone a bit sort of stiff. Maybe it needs a bit of oil or WD-40 or, you know, something like that to kind of just get it going again. Ah, right, these are nice on here actually, instead of the gold. I think we use these, which are like an antique bronzy type colour. So they're really nice, aren't they? So that one, and then this one. Oh, now it's getting really muggy. It's so weird, honestly. I mean, I've been like really quite chilly all day, and now just, oh, suddenly I'm actually feeling quite warm. It's very strange. Very strange, this weather. Oh, no. I don't know why this happens, but yeah. Can you see what happens? It just squishes that eyelet the wrong kind of way. Oh. Let's see if I can salvage it at all. No, I think I've made it even worse, but still. Anyway, it looks okay. And then this one, yeah, not so keen on that colour about this. Or we could have even, maybe we should have a little blue one on this. So let's try the blue. What do we think to those? That's quite nice, isn't it? I'll just check that we don't want the lighter blue. Oh, I'm not sure now. Which blue do you think, sweetie? Do you think this colour? Or do you think this one?
The other one, because it matches.
Oh, do you? Because I think this one, weirdly.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe just because I like this blue best. But this is where I wish that I could hear you guys and you could be telling me what you think. But anyway, let's go with what my daughter said. So she's told me the darker ones. So let's hope she's told us the right colour. So yeah. Okay. That one. And this one. Okay. Oh my goodness, how gorgeous do they look? So we have made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have made 8, but like I said, my daughter dropped the other one on the floor and now I can't actually see it anywhere. So yep, we made 8. And then of course we have also made another 6 bases ready for making. So, you know, we're well on our way to having 14 actually done. So they're just a really nice kind of different thing, aren't they, to have for your journals? And I'm just going to quickly show you. So I'm just going to pull in a journal and show you how these would look if you were popping them onto a page. So let's just grab this in. Okay. So let's just take, well, any one of these, to be honest. I think they're all going to look, oops, super pretty. So that's how that would look. You could have that on a page at the side, just glued down like a tuck spot. That one, whoops, got that one. Aren't they just so pretty? I really do love them. And then actually what you could do, and we did talk about this, but we didn't sort of play around with this, but you could then use a bit of baker's twine. So I'll just grab in a bit of baker's twine. I actually think if you doubled this up, it would be really nice. So let's double it up. Okay. Now, which one do we think this is going to look best on? Should we go on this one? So thread that through. Oh gosh. Struggling to actually put this through here. Oh no, put my glasses on so I can see a little bit better. Well, that's not going to poke that through, is it? Ah, let me get my pokey tool. Hold on. Oh no, where's my pokey tool gone? Oh, this is not good. Not good at all. Right, okay. I'm going to have a bit of a crisis now because I've got nothing to poke this through with. Oh dear. Right. Let's try it again and just see if I can make it small enough to just squeeze it through. Come on. Don't think it's helping because this eyelet's all twisted up. But, yeah. Let's just see if we can thread that through. Come on. Oh, come on. Come on. Oh, right. Okay. Oh, that was a hairy moment, wasn't it? Right, that one. And through this one. Like that. Okay, and then let's just tie this now in a bow. So, yeah, pull this through. Oh, my goodness. Like that. Tie that in a bow here. That one. Now, I doubled the twine up because I wanted it to be a bit more, you know, decorative than just a single piece. You know, but obviously completely up to you how you did that. Actually, in hindsight, I think maybe a single thread twine might have looked better. Maybe it's a bit too much having like the two strands, but yeah, you know, however you wanted it. So yeah, maybe I just need to cut the legs down a little bit on my bow. There we go. But how nice is that? So, you know, if you wanted to add kind of just a bit more decorative interest, like I say, you could, you know, put some baker's twine or string or, you know, ribbon or however you wanted to. Or, you know, they look really lovely just exactly as they are. You could put them on a tag. So if I just pull in a tag here, you know, put them on to a tag. And you could even have them hanging off. So they're like a little tab part on your tag, yeah, on your tag. Or obviously on your journal page, you could have them hanging off and then there'd be a bit like a little tab there as well. So yeah, quite a few different sort of ways that you can use them. I mean, I just think they're really pretty, aren't they? And a bit of a different take on clusters. And like I say, if you wanted to store them in your cluster book, just a little dab of glue in the middle and then just pop them down, you know, into your cluster book. And that's how they'd be then neatly stored in there. So I hope you like them, and yeah, have fun if you're going to make some, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys on Friday. Thank you so much then. Have a fantastic week, everybody, and I'll see you guys on Friday. Thanks then. Bye.